Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Kickbase Insights. I'm here with the special guest today. You guys might know him. He's been all over the news the past couple of years. He's one of the best young players to come out of the SuperDraft, and I have him here with me today. What's up? This is Logan Farrington. Thank you for taking the time to come on and talk to us here at Kickbase. What's up, Logan?
What's going on? Thanks for having me.
No, it's a true honor to have you on. You're having a hell of a season so far, and I'm glad to kind of touch base with your performances and fantasy wise what you're kind of thinking so far. But you kind of told me off air a little fun story that your dad plays MLS Fantasy. Is that true?
It is true. It's very true. He's invested a lot into it.
And you said he captains you sometimes, then he gets on you.
Sometimes, depends on who we're playing, So, but he's always on me. If I don't get him some points, he talks. He might trade me the next week.
That's funny. That's funny. Would you consider your dad a sicko? I guess an MLS sicko.
Maybe not MLS sicko, not quite there, but maybe more of a Dallas sicko now that I've been here for a couple of years.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Does he ever tell you to say, hey, tell Musa to pass the ball a little more or things like that?
No, he's more like pass the ball to Musa more.
That's funny. That's funny. Cool. So again, you came out of the Super Draft. I kind of wanted to touch base and start there. What was your experience like in the Super Draft? Did you receive a call? I know a lot of sports fans in the United States kind of understand the NFL draft, right? You get a call from the owner. Was it something similar to that, or how did that day go for you?
Yeah, I think pretty similar to some of the other drafts that you would know. For me, I had a bunch of stuff. MLS sent me a bunch of stuff to help me set up for a live stream because I believe they sent it to maybe 10 or 15 guys who were projected to go the first couple picks, which I thought was cool to be a part of that. So they gave me a bunch of scarves from every team.
Wow.
They gave me a bunch of gear, MLS gear. They gave me big lights so I could stream the stuff. So they took care of me very well. And then I was able to set up my laptop and I had some family and friends over for a little watch party. And then when the time came, my agent was also there. He was texting some of the other teams going on, some of the teams in the draft saying, oh, we might pick you here, we might pick you there. And then we got the notification that Dallas traded up for third from the live stream. Like that was the first time we heard of like Dallas coming into it. I never talked to Dallas before the draft, so I didn't know they were interested in me. But I saw they traded up. They paid some money for the spot. And then next thing you know, I was like, oh, why did Dallas trade up? I wonder who they're going to pick. And then my phone started ringing, and on the phone was Andre and all the guys from FC Dallas. So, and I believe I'm actually sitting in the draft day war room right now. So I'm sitting in the same room that they called me from. So they called me from this exact room, but the owners were very helpful to me. Andre, all the owners, the Hunts and everything, they've been very helpful, very meaningful to us in this organization.
No, that's really awesome. I wonder what you did with all those MLS scarves. Did you give them away or did you donate them?
I did actually, yeah. So I knew a couple of my friends were MLS fans of different teams, so I gave them what they wanted, and then whenever we had a good amount of scarves that were left, I actually took them to my old high school and just gave them to my old high school coach and handed them out there.
Oh, that's really cool, man. There's some kid at your old high school with the Houston Dynamo scarf,
A poor kid, huh? Why did I have to do that,
No, that's really cool. That's awesome that you also have that connection to your old high school too and your old coaches. Speaking of kind of that connection to your old coaches, do you feel like the college system is still a viable way to kind of play as a professional now that you kind of went through it?
Yeah, I think it's difficult to say. The game is changing a lot. I still believe the college level is very high. I know a lot of guys who play college currently. I know a lot of guys who have come out of college and are now playing in the MLS, or a few guys who have come out of college playing in the MLS. And there's quality, there's talent there. It's very difficult to find the opportunity to get that team to take a chance on that college guy, because I think there is a stigma about, he comes from college, he might not be able to make that jump, where teams are starting to invest a little bit more in the MLS Next Pro, which I think is also a great developmental league. Like you see the guys coming out of there, they're doing amazing. So you can't blame the league for going towards that, and you can't blame guys for maybe committing to that more than committing to a college. But I still think it's possible. I think if you're a good enough player and you can perform and show well, and you'll have your chance.
No, yeah, no, definitely, and you did have a chance, right? You've been kind of in the squad for FC Dallas ever since you maybe the first year you got drafted. How did you adjust to kind of college ball to MLS ball so quickly?
Yeah, it was difficult. I think the first month was probably one of the hardest times. Like you realize there's levels to the game. Like you really because you go from being probably the best or one of the best on your team in college and one of the best in the nation in college soccer to being probably bottom of the barrel in the MLS. You know, so it is very hard, not just physically, but I think also mentally and you have to battle that and know you and work going into training. You're kind of starting over. You need to prove yourself all over. You don't have that respect just because you're on the team. I think like there's kind of a misconception like once you're drafted, you made it. I don't think that's quite true. My dad always told me you haven't made it till you hit 100 games. So I haven't quite made there yet, but that's my goal coming up. I think after this year I'd hit that. But it's something like goals like that keep you going but it is very difficult. You just need to stay true, work hard, and you'll adjust eventually if you're good enough for it.
Yeah, that's so true. 100 games in MLS is a very hard kind of benchmark, and 100%. You're at if you make it to that point, you've definitely made it. Speaking of making it, do you feel like this season for you so far, you're already, if I'm not mistaken, at very close to 5 goal contributions on the year, or you're almost at your halfway mark from the other years. Do you feel like this is a breakout season for you?
Yes, I've been hoping for a breakout season. I mean, it's always difficult. First couple years, you're a rookie. You're still learning the league. You're still adjusting as a player. And I feel like if I looked at the player I was 2 years ago, coming out of college fresh, I'm a completely different player now. And I've honed my skills a little bit more. I've had a lot of help from the staff and from the players that I've been able to learn from. So I would love a breakout year. I think the year started fantastic so far. Maybe haven't got all the results we wanted, but we played some tough teams and we've done well. But again, it's first 5 games of the season. We're still adjusting as a team. We have some new components. But so far I'm happy individually with how I've been able to help the team and get some goal contributions on the board. And I would love to have that double-digit breakout season. That's been my goal this year, is to hit double digits in goals.
Yeah, I mean, you're already off to a great start. And talking a little bit about fantasy now, typically in MLS Fantasy, players or users of fantasy, they choose strikers based off of getting that goal number or getting those assist numbers. But in Kickbase, you're rewarded for kind of being involved in the run of play. Looking at your heat map over this season so far, you're kind of really involved in the run of play for FC Dallas. Again, you may play a little differently when Musa's not on the field, but you're pretty involved for a striker. Talk to me a little bit about kind of what's going through your mind when FC Dallas is on the ball.
Yeah, I think you kind of nailed it on the head there. When Musa's playing, I have a little bit of a different role, which I think we understand each other very well, and the team kind of understands that well too. I believe he's more of an out-and-out number 9, like a poaching number 9, and we see how good he is at around the box, and you give him a sniff of goal, he's going to score. And I think I've been able to kind of adjust to that and play off him a little bit more, where I can come a little bit deeper, receive the ball, turn with it, run, maybe create something for him or work with him and create something for myself. And I think that's why I've been a bit lower in the build-out, because I know we have another number 9 up there that can kind of take that true number 9 role, hold up, keep the ball, fight with the defenders a little bit, and that gives me a chance to drop a little lower and help us in the build.
And talk to me a little bit more in depth with your partnership with Musa. What are some things that he's telling you on the pitch? Is there an open communication to, this is where I want the ball, or maybe he the same way for you, right?
Yeah, I think we have a great relationship, as a lot of people know, on and off the field, which I think helps a lot to translate on the field and how well we work together. You'd be surprised. I think there's less communication than you would think, and I think that kind of comes down to us just knowing kind of how each other want to play. And I like to say that we're both 9s, so I like to imagine how I'd want the ball. If I have the ball and I'm trying to create something for him, I'd imagine I'm in his position. What would I do in that position? And I think we kind of think that way a lot, and And you see that's why we have that number 9 mentality together. So we try and set up each other in the best possible situation where maybe a midfielder won't think that way to pass in this certain direction. So I think it's nice that it's a different dynamic than you see a lot in today's soccer. You don't see a lot of teams playing two kind of bigger hold-up number 9s or poacher number 9s. So I think it works in our favor. A lot of teams that don't expect that or can't handle two big guys up front. So I think we're seeing a lot of success with that, and hopefully we can continue that.
And this is kind of a personal question, but what defender has given you the most trouble so far in your MLS career?
Ooh, that's a tough question. To be honest with you, I'm not great with names, so you could tell me names on the team sheet, but I would say I'll give you some of the teams that I think have been very difficult to break down. I think San Diego and LAFC are probably two of the toughest back lines to go against. I'll say that.
Did you ever go up against Giorgio Chiellini for LAFC by any chance?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. I actually played a friendly game against LAFC when I was playing for my USL 2 team way back. I think this was 2022. And I don't know if he was there quite yet. He didn't play in that game, but I think he just signed for LAFC. So almost had a chance there, but not quite.
Cool. And is there a jersey swap that you've done so far that you're like, hey, this is the one I'll remember forever?
Yeah. I have a pretty good jersey collection already. I think I don't have a lot of shame in asking for jerseys. I love doing a jersey swap because how many times or how many people can say that they've played against these players on the same pitch, and then I have a memory to keep for the rest of my life and show all my friends, family, and kids one day. So I would say the biggest one is probably Son. I jersey swapped with Son last year and I think I deserved that one because we tied the game 1-1 and we both scored. So that one felt very deserved. But I have Son, I have Lloris, I have Dreyer, I have Forsberg, Bouanga. So I got some big names in there.
That's cool. Do you get them to sign it too, or it just is this?
No. That's a little much. That's too much of a fan, Even though I am a fan of all these guys, but I need to keep it professional,
No, that's awesome. And one day they're just going to say the same thing. This guy out of college, Logan Farrington, I have his jersey. So that's really cool. That's a nice little story there. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about fantasy now, okay? So if you had to line up an 11 for this for this game week, what 11 are you starting? And since you know a lot of players from around the league, what guys would have to be in your lineup?
Can I pull up some of the matchups this week? Is that okay?
Yeah. Or I guess you don't have to do it necessarily for this week, but man, you're tapped in. You know exactly. You got to go with matchups for sure.
Hey, you got to look at the matchups, see who they're playing.
So Orlando is playing LAFC. Vancouver's playing Portland. Miami's playing Austin. Those are some games that we're kind of talking about this week.
I mean, what are we playing? A 4-3-3? 3 strikers?
Yeah, you can do
3 backers. I mean, of course, I think if Messi plays, I need to have Messi on there, of course. That's a good matchup for him. And let me see who else we have here. Honestly, probably Son in there. Son's playing Orlando. Orlando's struggling a little bit.
Yep.
I'd probably have Son. And then I see Galaxy's home to Minnesota. Maybe Klaus up there. There's probably my front 3. Can I make it a front 4 though? Can I play
You totally.
I'd probably have, if I can't add myself, I won't add myself. I have my dog Moose up there because he's in the golden race right now. Midfielders, ooh.
You can have teammates. That's totally fine. You can add FC Dallas.
You can have 3 teammates, right? 3 from one team.
Yep.
That's how fantasy works. No,
yeah,
that's the same way.
You can have 3, 2, or 1, whatever your league's set up. But yeah.
I would put Cappies in the middle.
Okay.
Our good number 8 right there. Let's see. Who else is playing good? Yeah, I'm looking at some of who's Vancouver playing?
They're playing Portland. So Berhalter's actually having a pretty crazy season so far.
I was just looking at Berhalter. I think I'd have to throw Berhalter in there. He just came off national team duties. He's on fire right now. San Jose is hot right now as well. I'd probably put, like I just said, I had Dreyer's jersey. I'd put Dreyer on there. And then I got, one more midfielder maybe? I'm a big fan of Mihailovic, so
Okay.
I think I would put Mihailovic in there as well. Playing against his old team as well, so
That's a great pick.
he might have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder.
Yep.
And defenders, like I said, not too many defenders I'm aware of, but I'll probably let's put Kosi in there because Kosi was an old teammate of mine. I know LAFC's been shutting a lot of teams down so far. Kosi, let's see. Man, there's some good players. What's his name? I forgot his name. Let me look real quick.
Tell me a team.
Blackman from Vancouver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great pick.
And then there's my 2 center backs. Ooh, right back. And let me put my third and final FC Dallas guy, Erman.
Okay.
Erman Johansson. Because he just came off. He's on a high right now. You know, Sweden just qualified for the World Cup. He's going to be on fire this week. He's going to get an assist. I can feel it.
That's a great pick.
And then a left back. Ooh, I don't know too many left backs, to be honest.
Eddie Segura for LAFC is playing great so far.
He is. But I have my goalie is going to be Lloris.
Oh,
so
okay.
I can't pick him.
Max Arfston from Columbus.
Ooh, Columbus. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll throw Arston in there because one of my friends from college played with him, so
cool.
I'll throw him in there.
Okay,
yeah.
so UC Davis.
I think that's a pretty strong 11.
Yeah. No, that's a solid starting 11, and I'm actually. You gave some nice tidbits in there, so our Kickbase fans are definitely going to like some of those. Is there a player that came out of the SuperDraft the same year as you, where you thought, maybe this guy can do well on my fantasy lineup too, or
on my fantasy team? Yeah, I got one in mind. I'll say right now the Quakes are doing very well, so I'll say my boy Jamar Ricketts. I played with him back in my USL 2 days, and he went to college with one of my best friends. So I'll have to say him. He's been off to a hot start this year. So, and he was drafted, I think, 13th overall in my draft class. Yeah. So he's kind of having his breakout year with San Jose, which it's very, very fun to watch.
Love that. And I kind of finish off all the interviews with this question, okay? It's going to be a little rash, but I have to ask it. Why should a fantasy player, put you in their lineup?
Okay, I like that question. I would say, I could go with the very generic answer because I'm going to get you points. I'd say look at my start. Look at my start of the season so far. I'm not playing around, so I'm trying to get those goals and assists and help the team get 3 points. And I don't know all the metrics that Kickbase uses, so and you said in the build-up they add a little bit more, so
yeah, exactly.
maybe I could add some points in, not just on goals and assists, but I think I could do pretty well on there.
So if I'm not mistaken, I think you're in either the top 10 or top 15 for strikers in Kickbase. So you are you're a superstar in MLS. Let's be honest here, but also in
not quite.
No, you definitely you're on your trajectory, and if you're not there already.
One day. I like that. I'm on the trajectory. I like that.
So thank you so much, Logan, for your time. We appreciate you kind of talking to Kickbase and talking to MLS Fantasy. We wish you the best of luck in the season, and hopefully we can talk back when you're already, or come back to talk when you have 25 goals on the season, right?
Yeah, would love that. Well, thank you very much for having me on. It's been a real pleasure. A lot of fun chatting.
No, thank you. Logan, so we have to get